Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Daily Times. The major headline here says, why I approved redesign of Naira notes. President Buhari speaking. Says new banknotes locally produced, a currency fortified with security features difficult to counterfeit. Currency fortified with security features difficult to counterfeit. All the details on the front page of the Daily Times. We move now to the front page of the Blueprint. Buhari unveils redesigned Naira notes. Terrorists want new notes as ransom. 165 billion Naira current notes already in bank's vault. CBN says we'll return to cashless economy. Nigerians to fill many forms to withdraw large amount. Changing color won't add value to Naira. PDP campaign team reacting there. We move now to the First News newspaper. Daring Zamfara bandits abduct 4, demand ransom in redesigned Naira notes. Daring Zamfara bandits abduct 4, demand ransom in redesigned Naira notes. All the details on the front page of the First News newspaper. And to the Nigerian News Direct now. Federal government recovers $1 billion loot under Buhari administration, convicts 3,000 offenders as government expresses worries over budget padding, approves extension of anti-corruption strategy document to fight corruption. Mike?
All right. I have on this side, let's start with this Nigeria. This Nigeria says $1 billion looted funds recovered in 7 years, says the Attorney General of the Federation, Malami. Federal government expresses disappointment over reports of budget padding. And as the Federal Executive Council okays new anti-corruption strategy documents. That's what this Nigeria has. And from there, let's go to Daily Trust. Daily Trust is focusing on the 2023 budget. It says Finance Ministry on the spot, over 426 billion Naira padding. All right, lawmakers decry insertions. The ministry denies allegations. It's a ploy to divert taxpayers' funds. Rafsanjani is saying this. It's being investigated. Malami is saying this. Right? From there, let's go to the Leadership newspaper. And it says, after leadership reports, INEC moves to tackle campaign spending breaches. All right? After leadership reports, INEC moves to tackle campaign spending breaches. Goes tough on financial abuses by parties, candidates to issue guideline on the campaign spending today. And silent on inability to publish parties' audited account in 5 years. An APC chairman doubts use of Beaver's electronic transmission of results. You see that on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. And then, all right, the Punch newspaper is the last I'm looking at right now. It says, governors stop deductions, consultants head for French court. Governors will end up embarrassing Nigeria after overseas court ruling. Consultants are saying this. Oh, and recall that this issue has been on for quite some time of the Paris Club refund, where it was proposed that the consultants be paid, and the governors are saying that wasn't part of the bargain. All right, Veronica, that's what we have here.
All right, let's look at the story on the front page of some of the papers this morning, talking about the federal government recovering about $1 billion with regards to looted funds between 2015 and 2022. The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, made the disclosure at the Federal Executive Council meeting yesterday. And he said it was because of the national strategy to fight corruption that was adopted between that period that, brought about these successes recorded, and that about 3,000 convictions were also recorded in just 2022 in 1 year as a result of the strategies adopted with the national document. And reactions are coming with regards to that.
Of course.
Because he also went ahead to say that those recoveries were channeled into some areas of the economy to fight poverty and other areas of the economy to address issues for the country and boost the economy, so to speak.
Now, the point there is we commend the government. You see, when Nigerians say government is not doing anything, it's not really because government is not doing what it's doing in its own respect. But the point there is, sometimes government is working so hard, yet the results are not being seen. Other times, government is working so hard, the results are there, but they're not publicizing it. They're not engaging or communicating with Nigerians to understand actually what the government is doing. So the point there is, in the fight against corruption, of course, we know the stance of the president, but it is also under his leadership that we have seen or we have heard reports of alleged looting of funds here and there. Nigerians can't just forget the Accountant General of the former Accountant General of the Federation, whom was alleged to have taken about more than 80 billion naira. How is that issue going? Nigerians need to know.
Then there's the issue of budget padding.
There's the issue of budget padding right now from various ministries amounting to over 400 billion naira. How is that going? Of course, it's not. It's for Nigeria. The Attorney General said, "Well, we're looking now. The government is worried about it, and we're looking into it." But the body language of the government towards issues of corruption is what Nigerians are concerned about. When they say corruption, remember when Transparency International brings out, they say corruption perception index. Underline the word perception. It doesn't mean that you are actually corrupt, but if there is a feeling that
kind of perception you create.
That perception is everything. We always talk about the issue of justice. Sin to be done. That sin to be done is even more important. Because that is how people respond to you. That is how people run away from you. That's how people cooperate or not. It is that perception. So if people don't see that there is the perception of intolerance of government for corruption, then everyone is going to stay away and then develop apathy.
One area that concerns me was what the Attorney General said with regards to poverty alleviation, talking about how much this has impacted, these monies have impacted poverty. But when you look at when you place it side by side, the MBS report that says over 100 million Nigerians have now been moved into
the numbers don't add
poverty.
Up.
It doesn't add up at all.
The numbers don't
That
add up.
impact is not there. These are the things that Nigerians are also looking at.
It is possible that those monies, recall that the Abacha loot and all of that, some of them, were given as conditional cash transfers to Nigerians, others put into trader money and all of that, as poverty alleviation programs and all of that. But the point there is, year after year, when NBS comes up with, in fact, I'm even happy that NBS is not even a foreign organization. It's a Nigerian organization. And he came up with his own indexes. And the index or indices, as the case may be, showed that Nigerians are getting even worse. We have more Nigerians falling into the trap of poverty.
Right.
It was under this administration that Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world. So how is that translating? If that is actually translating in that regard, then we wouldn't be having this number of more poor people.
If you're saying that those monies made a huge impact.
Exactly. Because when you throw money at people, you're giving somebody 5,000, you know what 5,000 is on the streets. If you won't go to the market right now to buy anything,
even creating the enabling environment for the person to thrive with that 5,000 that you said the person should use for business.
We have even said, if I use that money, buying grinding machine, buying Okada, buying Keke, that doesn't empower anybody. You may use it to raise some money for a period of time, but what if anything happens? The very next day you're giving the Okada, something happens and you have an accident, God forbid, and then somehow the Okada is gone. You won't go back to the government to say, I had an accident yesterday, or it was stolen, so can I have another one? So the person is not empowered. We are talking about an empowerment that can sustain you, where after a period of time, you have the capacity to employ other people. That is the kind of empowerment we're talking about.
Perhaps government is not going back to re-evaluate the impact. You give out these monies, but you're not going out to check its impact to know where the loopholes are, what is needed to addressing these issues, such that at the end of the day, you get the desired result you want.
That is what Nigerians are saying. Because there are experts, we have experts in this country who are consultants to other countries, who are consultants to international organizations in these areas. So Nigerians have all of those experts. How much of collaboration is going on as bringing experts in to say, okay, you know what? The point there is we have a strategy, but we want the outcome, the ultimate outcome, to show and reflect on Nigerians. If the number of poor Nigerians are coming down, then we can say, of course, that is working. If the number of out-of-school children is coming down, then we can say, of course, that is working. But as far as that is not working, we don't see the impact.
That's well, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's the thing. And all
really
this has to change.
It has to change, and I believe that the government is listening, and those who will perhaps coming in the next administration will also look into matters such as this to address these issues, and we get the desired result.